We are here this afternoon to recommend Commission approval of the implementation plan for the first phase of the Bay Park. You have approved a master plan for the full 53-acre site. You have approved a master plan for the first phase, approximately 10 acres on the south edge. You have approved a long-term 15-year partnership agreement, and per that long-term partnership agreement, the next step is to approve the implementation plan on the way to approval of a site plan, permitting, and preparation of an implementation agreement, which gets at some of the issues that were talked earlier, like what might the uses be for different places on the site.
As a quick reminder, of course, on the left is the site aerial of our 53 acres. It's largely a parking lot today. When built out on the whole 53 acres, it will be largely a green park. On the right is the master plan that was approved last fall, and then the next slide is the same master plan reflecting an update to the 10 acres on the south that is our phase one. What we heard and what Gina is going to talk a bit about are some issues that were raised around 4 or 5 items, specifically the Sunset Boardwalk, the resilient shoreline beach area, the design of Boulevard of the Arts, and pickup, drop-off, and parking along the east end.
Quite a lot of concern about circulation patterns and movements being changed. Also a lot of concern about existing vegetation, pretty significant live oaks and other vegetation that exists in the median, as well as a line of pretty stunning black olive trees. And so consistent with the feedback, we made adjustments to the plan, as you see in the September version, that really preserves and enhances that landscape. A lot of concern about there not being clear arrival points and drop-off, and that a little bit more parking could be really handy here. And so as you can see, we expanded the parking to add 5 parking spaces and to add a much clearer western edge drop-off for people with limited mobility to be able to get out into the park pretty immediately. This is showing the inclusion of a waterfront circulation system, which was a #1 priority of the community. That and environmental benefits were primary. So in both instances of phase 1 on the left-hand side and the master plan, we can assure the community a continuous waterfront access walkway. In addition, we've been working closely with the city and city staff to understand the multi-use recreational trail, otherwise known as the MIRT, and its location, where we could accommodate it along 41 in the short term and where it could be in the long term. We thought it was wonderful to show you, and maybe exciting to show you, that the Quay development in particular will add to the connectivity network in really big ways, allowing much more choice and circulation in a way, as you can see on the left-hand side, that doesn't exist today. Previously been talking about the western edge of Boulevard of the Arts. We were describing it, and this was my language, and I caused the confusion, a beach. We were building off of this notion of the existing beach that exists there, but the existing beach, if you've walked on it in bare feet, which I have, is very rocky and hard to walk on, and the living breakwater makes it really difficult to negotiate. So we never intended it to be a swimming beach, but the representation, the language sort of sent that signal. And so we've been careful now to clarify that we really see it as sort of a sand zone that's removed from the waterfront by seagrasses and shell and rock, that it's much more of a naturally engaged space that also has the potential for small-scale pickup passive recreation.
A number of concerns, and I would call them uncertainties, okay, regarding parking, flows of traffic, whether it's pedestrian, bicycle, or automotive, will be addressed in detail as we move to the site plan part of the process. Phase 1 standalone is, we still believe, very feasible from a funding standpoint, very doable from an operational standpoint, and we believe a dramatic improvement in the environmental situation on that 53 acres.
The Community Foundation of Sarasota County, along with an anonymous donor, committed $1 million toward the Bay. This was a significant gift for us, and it truly signifies how vital and critical we believe the Bay is to the future of our community. We think bridging generations and uniting this community is vital for this space. So our commitment will provide for programming support at the Bay for activities that, again, are welcoming and where people feel that they truly belong.
This updated plan that's talking about $20 to $25 million of private philanthropy, that how do we galvanize that, and how do we, the conversation that we're hearing now about some of these other issues that are coming before us, I would encourage city leadership to try to bust through this friction.
We await with hope joy, and anticipated expectation to have a beautiful public space that some refer as a public backyard or a front porch for all.
And we do one particular event, the MLK celebration, and I would love to be able to do that in a space where it's more comfortable for the Sarasota community to bridge together. Where this park is located, it's less intimidating, I think. So it could be a catalyst to bridge sometimes our very segregated communities.
The plan you're considering today is the highest and best use for this piece of real estate. It was deliberately created to optimize a public asset for the greatest value for the most diverse cross-section of our citizenry, especially those that cannot gain access to the water through the private marketplace. The plan is true to its original vision. It meets all of the guiding principles that this commission and the community committed to years ago, and I would respectfully request unanimous approval of the proposal.
If you approve and allow this team, this magnificent team, and its magnificent donor base to continue its work, it was just an exercise to assure you that they're on the right path and things were coming together. The Van Wezel Foundation will be here in October, November, to update you on their piece of this. So it's really essential to keep the momentum going, and that's why this was conceived.
All right, can we get a motion?
Move to approve Phase 1 of the implementation plan.
Second.
Just to clarify, is that with the understanding, but
With the
my
Yes.
comment about the docks? Thanks.
Yes.
Is that your vote, Commissioners?
Yes.
Okay, the motion is approved.
It's an incredible affirmation that we're moving in the right direction, and it allows us to continue to move right into the site plan application process, right into our building permit applications to ultimately break ground and cut the ribbon on an amazing park a couple of years from now.
Oh, was there any surprise today?
I'd say no surprise. Honestly, it's democracy in action. I mean, it's we continue to get feedback in support, much of it in support, some of it with concerns. We continue to listen, and we continue to incorporate what we can in the feedback that we get from the community. And you know what? Even as long as the feedback is constructive, it almost always makes our park design better. It will make it a better park for our community. And so it's fine. Honestly, the healthy, constructive discussion is part of what makes our democracy great, and it's going to be part of what delivers a world-class park when we cut the ribbon in a couple of years.